It makes common sense in the current climate and the current environment to tap into prospects' natural inclination to support business through providing introductions. Prospects want to do that. They want to do that anyway, and clients want to do that anyway. But there's never been a better time to tap into the desire to rebuild the global economy by introducing people to other people so that they can close more business and get the economy started again. And I want to give you a formula that's going to help you do that. This is the road less traveled, because most salespeople, most account executives don't ask for referrals, and they should be asking for referrals. But even the few, the 15% of salespeople that actually do ask for referrals, tend to ask for referrals from clients, and that's fine. But that's not the only route. So welcome to the EPIC referral formula, which gives you 4 different routes in which you can ask for referrals and get them easily. The first is existing clients. Now, as I said earlier, very few people ask for referrals at all. But the few that do tend to focus on existing clients. And this is based on existing client value. It makes sense. You've passed on self-evident value to your existing clients. It just makes sense to leverage that. So you should do that. And if you're doing that, that's great. You're on top. If you're not, you should be. You're not so hot. And you could be hot if you just did that in a systematic way. That's the first step. The second step is what I call present client value. That's when you've just closed the client. Of course, they're happy, right? They've bought into your value. They've signed on the line, and it's fire or elbow time at the moment, or viral 5. Either way, they're happy in terms of buying from you. So you want to leverage that. You want to get into a discussion about your clearly appreciated value and how others would benefit from that value too. So if there was a good time, this is a great time to ask for that when they've bought from you. So then ask there. But then don't stop there, because most people stop there. But why stop there when you could continue? So the next level is what I describe of referral, is what I describe as implied, implied value. That is, if you're in an exploratory discussion with a prospect or a client for that matter about an additional solution, or a prospect about a new solution, and that relationship goes well, or at least that first meeting goes well, and you know that because there's a second meeting, scheduled second meeting, then your value is implied. They're moving on. Right now, if you've been in your industry for more than 5 minutes, like a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, I'm going to expect, if you're selling effectively, that you're passing on value, whether they buy from you or not. So why not leverage that value into a discussion around referrals? Just leverage that value. It's easy to invoke what we describe as the hero factor at that stage, at this implied value stage, and have a conversation about introductions, and then you can leverage those introductions and follow up and secure meetings with them. Remember, none of this requires you to have cold numbers, so you don't have to worry about getting through and the challenges, the contact challenges that most people are suffering with now. So we've looked at 3 so far. We've looked at existing client value. We've looked at present client value. And we've looked at implied prospect value. And the final one is cold value. Now, this is another area where people don't take advantage of glaring opportunities. If I'm calling somebody up, if I'm fortunate to have their numbers, and again, you're going to be different because you're going to be working with warm prospects. So the likelihood is that you're not going to get negative responses. But let's say you're working with warm and cold prospects, and you call them up to set up a meeting for next Thursday at 3. But they don't give you the meeting. You try and turn them around. You use all the techniques. You're very polite. You're very nice, but it just doesn't work for you. What do most people do? They take their details and say, I'll follow up if they're lucky. That's what they do. But I'm suggesting you don't do that. Or before you do that, you have another step. You ask them for an introduction. You tell them that you're active in this marketplace and ask them who would they suggest that you should be speaking to. Now, not all of them are going to tell you, but some of them will. They'll say, well, you should be talking to companies like ABC or DEF or HIJ, right? Now they've told you that, you're on one rung of the ladder. Then what you want to do is say, well, I'm just curious, who would be your opposite number in that organization? Now, again, many of them won't tell you, but some of them will, right? But either way, you've got an introduction, you've got a name of the company, and you've potentially got a name of an opposite number at that company, regardless of whether you got a meeting or not. And then all you need to do is follow up those prospects at their office and just leave a message in regards to the person that you spoke to, if they gave you the name, or the company that they work for. And what you'll find is that that will arouse curiosity and people will call you back. No need for mobile numbers that you couldn't get, that you've been struggling to get. The solution is clear. The solution is simple. Stay happy, stay safe, and happy prospecting.